You know, I've been feeling intensely the times that we're in, the weight, the feeling, the number of people who are having experiences, the amount of stuff that's coming up for individuals and collectively. And it seems that it's unavoidable for those who are seeking something more genuine about themselves and about the world, that the demand is to deepen, meet the ghosts, meet the ghost of what has been avoided. There's no other time to do this. The world, as we call it, whatever that may mean, seeks to come home in each of us. This is the deepest truth, the deepest realization. But none of that can happen until there's been this meeting within ourselves, the resolution of the pattern that has run us all our lives, the resolution of the karmic wheel that plays itself out in us. This is it. It's not fancy, it's not new age, it's not a belief system, it's not dogma, it's only an intuitive insight after working with so many people and going to the deepest parts of myself until something opened within me. It's only from that I speak this. I'm not really interested in persuading anybody of anything, but for those who are facing themselves and finding themselves unraveling, unwinding, then maybe this speaks. If you're one of those, then maybe this speaks to you. The unwinding, the unraveling, the no longer believing the momentum of oneself or the insanity of the world with its endless neurosis and egoic play, the playing out of the ego self. So that means that for each of us, we must fall into something deeper, into somewhere deeper that the mind has no dictatorship, has no control over, where mind doesn't run the show. That means the heart opens. That means the nervous system opens. That means the past rushes in. That means whatever has been coiled up within us, that which has been avoided within us, the deepest pains, the deepest wounds, the deepest sorrows, all must be welcomed into the clear light of our open heart and open being. Of course, that's where the pain is. But when the context is right, when the calling is there, the warrior turns up, and the context is here. We were able to avoid for years and years and years and years, but now we can't avoid. So the call is urgent. It's not panicky, but it's urgent, and that means it's certainly demanding. But we have to rise to the occasion within ourselves, within each of us. Rise to the occasion. Rise up into our majesty, not shrink down into our victimhood. And of course, this is an ongoing. It's not a one time only experience. It's an ongoing meeting. The freshness of now, the freshness and rawness of the meeting that almost opens us again and again and again until our tendencies to closure that we've been dominated by simply start to fade away because they're no longer relevant. It's like an overcoat that we've gotten used to wearing endlessly, and all we know is to wear the overcoat. And then by and by, on the spiritual path, you get a moment to take it off. There are wings underneath the overcoat. We take it off and feel the freshness and the openness and the lightness of being. And then something happens and the coat comes back on again through habit, through fear, through the old patterns. So then we walk with the overcoat on for a while, and by the invitation arises again. We take off the coat and the wings are there, and we flap them a little bit and feel the freshness and the openness and the lightness of being. So we walk for a little bit, and then by and by something happens. Fear rises up, old habits. You know where I'm going with this. By and by, the coat comes back on. So we do the dance. The overcoat on, the overcoat off. The flapping wings of the lightness of our being. A little bit more, and we can be on that dance for a long time. It can also become quite heady. What have I done? Why have I lost this? The dance of remembering and forgetting. And I'm inviting the end of the dance of remembering and forgetting. Doesn't matter. Throw that out. Just know that for some time, the overcoat comes on and the overcoat comes off. Enjoy that. Be in that. And stay committed. It requires a warrior's persistence. Not this kind of warrior, this kind of warrior. The warrior of light, the warrior of the open arms. To commit again and again and again. Forever, if necessary. This is the dance. The nature of the Sisyphusian metaphor was that Sisyphus pushed the boulder up the hill with as much stealth and persistence as he could, only to see it roll down the other side. Next day, he's pushing it up the hill again. One can see that as being endless suffering. I see that as life, the human life, the striving towards openness, the movement towards closure, until by and by something changes, something sweet, something soft, something deeper changes. And then to a certain extent, Sisyphus no longer needs to push the boulder up the hill because he's become the hill and the boulder and himself and the movement of forgetting and remembering. This is the time. Recommit every day to the journey of opening. Something happens.